No Bleach this week. Well, guess what, people? We're going to have a little wee discussion on the Bleach manga as a whole pretty much now, and sort of our thoughts and predictions on going on further into the manga, and sort of like how I feel like it's going to end, and not to mention what we're going to expect to see probably from the rest after once the manga come back from this short little week break. So definitely where the manga left off in 592, we were starting off the Mayuri versus Hitsuguya fight. Now for the theories of that, it's like I'm guessing that what we've seen from the Hitsuguya is we've seen that he pretty much got turned into a zombie beforehand, like when he was still alive. I'm guessing that probably Mayuri with his medicines, he's somehow going to turn Hitsuguya back into normal, because I don't know, I feel like Kubo wouldn't just kill off one of the fan favorite characters, especially with someone like Hitsuguya. He's a very popular character like that, and yeah, it's like Kubo did try to kill other characters as well. He tried to kill Byakuya and some other characters, and that didn't particularly work, so who knows. But from the fight predictions as well, I feel like from the Arankas and stuff, and not to mention as well, Mayuri's like Shikai and Bankai are pretty much useless here, because his Bankai working on poisons and also as well like working on like nervous system as well with his Shikai. I don't feel as Mayuri can really work like without actually generally killing this zombie Hitsuguya, and also as well I feel like the only other way to stop Hitsuguya is by destroying the Tranny Aranka Z. But overall, I think like what we're going to see more from this, I feel like we're going to have this like maybe three chapters or so. Like I feel that's what we're going to be happening, and then we're probably going to go throughout. Not mention seeing a little bits of Juha Bach and seeing like what's happening in the Soul Palace, since we're going to see like a fight already. I imagine that one of the Soul Palace guys, like when we saw them Squad Zero, I imagine he got beaten by this time and that he's already down for the count. And it's going to be interesting like what they're going to have. Like they're going to have like their own Shikais, Bankais, or perhaps maybe that they're so special that Squad Zero that they actually have a new form. Maybe they had something beyond Bankai or something. Maybe they had something like what Ichigo can do, that they're able to become their sword. That's something interesting. And not to mention they don't even use swords as well. Like we definitely saw from the first like person from the Soul Palace, one of the Squad Zero guys, that he just uses this giant paddle thing, and that he was able to manipulate the water around him. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen and all that. But I honestly think like, you know, we could have like Juha Bach just easily just take him on for that. But and not to mention as well having Ichigo or Hime and Chad as well arriving. I imagine that we're going to have, you know, obviously Ichigo versus, we're not even going to see this fight for a while now. I feel like we got another year or two of Bleach that we could possibly do. It depends how much Kubo wants to do in it. He can make the fight extremely long, or he could do another like Aizen fight and just make it incredibly short compared to all the other fights that we had throughout the series. So I imagine that we're going to be having quite a bit of battle between Ichigo and Juha Bach. Not to mention as well, I don't really see Chad trying to face off with Ichigo, so I imagine Ichigo, maybe Chad and Orihime are gonna all try and take them on. Apart from that, like I think maybe Chad, if like they need a huge power boost as well. They need someone, either that or some more people. Like they need people like Grimmjow to arrive, which I can honestly see with him arriving maybe pretty soon in the manga, since it's been hinted at for a long time through this person that's been helping him. And not even as well, we want to see other stuff throughout the series. We still need to see, you know, Urahara, what he can do. We need to see his Bankai. We need to see if Yoruichi is ever going to release her Bankai, or even her sword releases at that. Ishin as well. There are still a lot of big characters left to go into the series, and not to mention we have still got the Fullbringers as well, and Ganju to arrive. So I'm wondering, it's like if we're going to have all these characters incorporated, they're probably going to be taking on some of the lesser Stern Ritters, I feel, since after the Mayuri stuff and all that. I feel that maybe we might go back into these characters. Maybe we might have the Fullbringers taking on some of like the lower, like maybe take on some characters like Basby, like if they take out some of the characters like that, who knows, since we still have a number worth of like Stern Ritters to take care of throughout there. But so like the predictions wise, like yeah, so far like from what I read from Bleach and all that, it's been very good, and Kubo has been vastly improving with his writing with this war. Definitely after the Kenpachi fight, it just went up. You know, we just had some amazing content right now with Mayuri. It's been very good. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen to that. And not to mention, has even Mayuri got even a more enhanced Bankai now? Has he managed to like work it up? Or it's just interesting to see what's going to happen throughout the series. And I'm very interested to see what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think the theories are going to be for like the next upcoming fights and stuff in Bleach as well? And also as well, a little theory like how do you think it's going to end? Like I particularly think that Ichigo is probably going to become a captain after years later. Either that or he just like disappears and he just goes with his family and just continues on with normal life, and they just remember this legend of the substitute Shinigami throughout the world. Like, I feel like the one that suit Ichigo a little bit more is that he would actually just become like, oh, he would just go back to his normal life with his friends and all that, and they just say legends of him like years later and stuff in Soul Society. But we won't see that till like the end and all that, and who knows what Kubo could do. Maybe he could have Ichigo die like against Juha Bach or something like that. Who knows, like some crazy stuff could happen later on in the Bleach series. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think about the theories of Bleach and how is it going to end and all that? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that's all for me. I want to thank you very much for watching as always. Remember, I'll see you guys next time. And remember, strike like a panda.